9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.
Happy Wednesday. This is your timeless elite, your PR princess, Stone Cold Courtney, whatever you want to call me on this Wednesday edition of WWT. I am back from the office because I did have a few assignments over the weekend, and we will chat more about that throughout the day. It's Wednesday. Of course, AEW Dynamite's going to the movies, but so much is happening. But thankfully, I'm not alone. And this is a ladies edition of WWT. So I'm thinking, who can I introduce first? Because this is ladies night. But of course, I always have to introduce my counterpart, my sister, who always loves to come with me anywhere I go. You know her as the sweetest oos, Miss Wrestling with Honey, in the building.
Buzz, 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 my beautiful busy bees of the WWT universe. 'Tis I, your sweetest oos. I am so excited to get into it. So happy to see you, Courtney. Can't wait to hear about all your endeavors, and can't wait to bring in all the ladies. Let's rock it.
I know. There's going to be so much happening. I'm so happy to see you, even though I saw you last Thursday.
I know. It doesn't feel like I did. It doesn't feel like I did, though. It doesn't feel like I did.
It doesn't. So I go from wrestling to pageantry to another sister I met through pageantry, and I don't know what it is. We love pageant, we love wrestling, we just love everything. I have to go with Miss Victoria.
Woo! Hey everyone.
How are you on this Wednesday?
I'm doing good. Ready? We have so much to talk about. I can't wait.
Yes, so much. And then I can't forget, because I have one more lady I have to introduce, and I'm so excited that she is part of the team. And she just written her first article on WWT about Clash in Italy. So please make sure to check it out. It is Miss Hope in the
Hey, y'all. It's Dynamite Wednesday, y'all.
Oh, yes, it's ladies' night, and
Ladies'
the feeling's right.
Yes. Just feel the energy. It's ladies edition of WWT. It's so much energy. Shout out to Eric Isaac in the chat, our producer from the future, Dylan from the Land Down Under. So happy to see you. And, you know, since we have so many stories, let's just get this preview out the way. Because, Dylan, this is our gift to you. We're going to preview AEW Dynamite because they are going to the movies for a summer blockbuster. Yours truly for Timeless Elite Wednesday at the top of the hour. We're still on the road to Forbidden Door, and we have so much to catch up on. Obviously, of course, after the whole commotion between the Death Riders and the conglomeration, and even trying to pursue MJF for his World Heavyweight title, Mark Briscoe is going to go one-on-one with Pac. These guys are definitely going to put out a banger, and you can expect a lot of shenanigans from these two. And we're also going to continue the Owen Hart Cup men and women's tournament. For the men, these guys are no strangers to each other. Brody King taking on Swerve Strickland. The winner of this match will be facing off against Will Ospreay at Forbidden Door at the end of this month. And no, there is bad blood between these two. We're also going to have for the ladies Owen Hart Cup women's tournament, making her debut in AEW, Sari, and I hope I said this right, will be taking on Skye Blue one-on-one. These two ladies are going at it, and the winner of this match will be facing off against the forever Ring of Honor Women's Champion, Athena, in the semifinals. And we're also going to have, for the first time ever, my main squeeze, freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy, taking on Andrade after what happened on Collision over the weekend. Apparently, Rocky Romero stuck his foot in his mouth and apparently put the goal to Orange Cassidy that he has to face off against Andrade one-on-one. Andrade is also chasing for AEW World Heavyweight title gold. And we're also going to have Jon Moxley, who is coming back home to Ohio. He will defend the AEW Continental Championship against Shane Taylor. You may know them on Ring of Honor, but they've been buzzing these last couple weeks on AEW television on Collision, Shane Taylor Promotions, and they really are putting a threat notice onto the Death Riders. And I can't wait to see these two guys go at it. We're also going to hear from the reigning and the face of TNT, Mr. Kevin Knight. After aligning with Don Callis, I guess, we're going to hear from him, especially after he attacked Darby Allin at Double or Nothing. And he also has eyes set on AEW World Title gold, so we'll be looking forward to him. And we're also going to hear from the Psycho Killer, Tommaso Ciampa. After attacking Chris Jericho a couple weeks ago and pretty much calling him out, we're going to see what he has to say next. Who knows? Maybe Chris Jericho will pop up and everything. But all this and more is happening at the top of the hour tonight on TBS, simulcast on HBO Max, where AEW Dynamite's going to the movies for a summer blockbuster. And is there any match or segment in particular that you guys are interested in?
I'm just gonna go ahead and say anything with Swerve is fine by me. So Swerve and Brody King, Owen Hart Cup tournament, like let's see the bad blood. Let's see the blood spill. Chaos.
Yeah, I was waiting for something with CEO considering last week,
Well, just to let you know, next week she will be facing off against Hazuki next week on Dynamite. But she may make an appearance. You never know with Mercedes. She may pop in.
This is true. Oh, that was so awesome. She would appear in my hometown of Richmond, Virginia. But I gotta say, I'm impressed with Shane Taylor Promotions. It's like, wow, against the Death Riders, what's going on here? Very interesting. And it's like it's continuing. It seems like a real thing here. So it's like it'll be curious to see how this progresses. I'm excited about where this goes because, however, Mox's hands is all over it, and it'll say a lot about him too, I think.
Victoria, anything that interests you?
I mean, I love Swerve, so I think that's going to be just a fabulous match. Other than that, I mean, like the women's match, I'm curious to see. We have someone debuting. I personally have never seen her before, so it will be interesting to just. I like when new people pop up, and I like to see like what they bring to the show and the table.
Yeah, so Sari, you may know her from New Japan because I think she was the IWGP Women's Champion. She has been making her mark throughout this, and it's super excited that she is. She's no true stranger because she's familiar with Mercedes, Athena, Alex Windsor, and many others. So I'm super excited for her. I mean, obviously, my main squeeze, Orange Cassidy, facing off against Andrade because that's going to be a good match. But also, hope, like you said, Shane Taylor Promotions have been putting in the work. If you do not follow Ring of Honor or any of the work that they're doing, they are really putting in the work. And I am so happy to see Shane Taylor go up against Jon Moxley, the AEW Continental Champion. I'm very happy we have another serious contender, and I would love to see that. And it makes me happy to see them get a lot more TV time, not just them, but also the infantry. So happy to see Lee Moriarty on TV on a consistent basis because you may see the little spat between him and Nigel on Collision because after Nigel got a victory at Supercard of Honor, Nigel has an opportunity to go for the Ring of Honor Pure Championship. So I don't know when that match is going to happen, but Nigel, he watch out for Nigel because he can throw a punch. So I'm very excited to see this. Obviously, of course, I'm very excited because we're going to the movies for a summer blockbuster. So there's going to be a lot of thrills, a lot of chills, and everything else. And we may get an appearance from Will Ospreay because I know everybody's like, where's Will Ospreay? Where's Will Ospreay? I'm like, Ospreay. Be patient. Be patient. He will be there, probably staring down whoever wins between Swerve and Brody. And also, the man's getting married this month. He's getting married. Darby Allin's getting married. So
what a great month to get married, too. I love
they're getting married. So leave them be.
Ooh.
But that's your preview for AEW Dynamite. But we do have a birthday happening, and it is Women's Wrestling Talk. And we always love celebrating the ladies. Happy birthday to the virtuosa, New Jersey's own Deonna Purrazzo. It is her birthday today, and we here at Women's Wrestling Talk want to wish her a happy birthday. And take a look at this photo between her and Steve. This happened over the weekend. And so happy to see. We will talk more about the event that happened a little bit later on. But I just want to get thoughts from you two ladies, all three of you ladies, if you have like a moment that you watched Deonna, or if you met her in person, any moment that you have. And honey, I'll start with you.
Yeah, well, going into Deonna Purrazzo, I mean, Jersey girl, hello, love that. And I have had the pleasure of meeting her with you, actually, Courtney, when we went to the Queen of the Ring premiere last year. But she's one of the few women who literally have successfully has continuously reinvented herself. She has a very respectable resume, probably one of the most respected in women's wrestling across all the companies. And I think her career is a reminder that success isn't always a straight line. Sometimes the version of yourself that finally clicks comes after, people think they've already figured you out. And just to see her blossom in this light, she's continuing to do her thing, and we wish her a lovely, happy birthday.
Victoria.
So if you couldn't tell my face, I've never got to meet her. She's on my list. I would love to. So happy birthday to her. And yeah, I think her career trajectory has just always been amazing to me. And I think the idea, like, she knew when to like make herself something new, and I think sometimes we see people holding out on something, they're trying to make fetch happen. And that just isn't going to happen. But happy birthday to her.
And Hope, if we hear you, because I know I can't see your screen, but can you hear us?
Weird. That's so weird because I can see you. Wow. But same, I've never had the opportunity to meet her, but definitely a happy birthday. I'm going to try logging out and then logging back in. I apologize, guys.
No, that's okay.
No worries.
This is technical difficulties. It always happens.
Thanks, guys.
For me, I had the pleasure of meeting Deonna. As Honey said, I met her at Queen of the Ring. I interviewed her. I got to meet her over the weekend, even though she was all over the place. But it was just a very fun event that her and Steve got to do, because it's all going to a good cause, especially to a nonprofit organization that helps out with families after being affected by 9/11, which is huge. And seeing some of the stars from the independent scene, TNA, AEW, so many people came out to it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just really, really nice. And I had the chance to chat with her because I didn't think she would remember me, but she did. So I had the chance to chat with her, and she really had to put on a good event. And also there's more content happening, but we'll talk about that later on. But if it does come back next year, please, please, please go. It is such an important cause, and Deonna and Steve and everybody else involved just blew it out the water in Jersey. And I was so happy that I got to cover it on behalf of WWT. So, and yes, Dylan, she is our friend of the show, because Boss Lady interviewed her before I came on and you came on. She interviewed her in the early stages of Women's Wrestling Talk. So definitely following us, and one of which,
not for nothing, can we put the pic?
And also she's been killing it.
Can we put the picture back up really quick? Because I just want to look at the fulfillment. Like, that looks like a hardworking woman who finally got something off. Like, she got, you know what I mean? Like a project off the ground, and she's just leaning into her man at the end of the night, just like, I get it. Like,
it was,
and you should be damn proud of yourself, girl.
She is. She should be. And also, she's the reigning Ring of Honor Pure Women's Champion. I mean, she's put in the work. And I think if you have not been paying attention to Ring of Honor, I think, because I know everybody always has something to say when it comes to Ring of Honor, I think they figured out who are their leading ladies outside of Athena. I think they're starting to figure it out. And I'm happy Deonna is the one that's leading the charge. And I'm happy that she is trying to take that initiative, because they are doing great work. I'm very proud of all of them. It's work in progress, but they're putting in the work. But again,
love that.
Happy birthday to the virtual. Now we're shifting over to NXT, because there was a lot of stuff that happened in NXT last night. But also, we have a new NXT North American Women's Champion in Zaria. She beat Tatum Paxley for the belt. And I just wanted to get you ladies your quick thoughts on all of this. And was this the right decision? And honey, I'm going to start with you.
Finally, and then I turn off my mic. Finally, feels like but finally it feels like NXT is fully committing to Zaria as the future centerpiece with the North American title. Her presentation since the split with the whole Zaruka thing has completely taken a different turn from day one. They finally brought her back to her original roots when she first jumped on the NXT scene, with that dominance and that rage and that that X factor that she has, and she's brought a really good physicality that stands out with the division. So they're already feeling like they can trust her they're starting to trust new superstars, and they finally got one. And Zaria is definitely has earned this spot. Now the challenge is pretty much sustaining that momentum after such a big win, because Tatum Paxley is not just a walk in the park. Let's keep it real. That match was so good. I enjoyed that match last night, but I'm glad that Zaria is getting her flowers.
Yes. Hope, your thoughts on Zaria being the new NXT North American Women's Champion?
Copy that. Well done, the right call, and it'll be interesting to see how long she holds on to it, because the division is tough.
Victoria?
So happy. And I hope she has a good long reign, quite honestly, because I feel like she deserves one. But I feel like they're finally starting to find the right people again and build up some new people, which, I feel like it's always a complaint, at least for me, with women's wrestling. I feel like they have their one or two people, and then they don't invest in bringing more people in and up and making more stars. So I'm just very happy about that trajectory, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm very happy for Zaria that she finally got the belt. Shout out to Tatum Paxley for the reign as being the NXT North American Women's Champion. She's definitely put the work in, but excited to see Zaria in her reign. There's a lot of challengers, because we see a lot of ladies from Evolve coming on to NXT, and I would not be shocked if Zaria made an appearance on TNA, if she put a challenge to any of the knockouts, because that would be very interesting, and also utilize that partnership. So that would be something to do. But also, again, congratulations to Zaria. Congratulations to Tatum Paxley. We don't know where she's going to go. I know people are allegedly reporting she may go to main roster, but whatever Tatum does, just respect that. I know people are saying she may go to Raw to reunite with Lyra. She may go to SmackDown, but
she might not.
That
yeah,
part.
exactly. So we may not know. We may not know, but congratulations again to Zaria. And it's funny because we did AEW and we're talking about this guy, Jon Moxley. And the crazy part about it is he doesn't do a lot of interviews. And I was very shocked that he did. Well, obviously he did a media tour in his hometown promoting Dynamite, but this was actually very interesting. He was on a local radio show in his hometown, and he explained why recording an audiobook for his autobiography feels pretentious. He goes on to say, yeah, it's very difficult. It's one of the worst parts of it, because it takes a really long time and takes a couple weeks, and we're sitting there recording it. And the worst part of it is to read your own words back. It kind of makes you feel kind of foolish. Let me read my dictations to the world, so it's kind of makes you feel like a little silly or reading your own words, but people enjoy it. I was really glad about it. That's available out there whenever you get audiobooks and stuff, if you like reading about gory pro wrestling violence and frivolity and things of the nature. And pretty much he kind of talks about that in the interview, which I thought was pretty funny. And he doesn't do a lot of interviews, which is rare. But I just wanted to get you guys as ladies on this. Would you be interested if Jon Moxley did an audiobook about his autobiography? And would you listen to the whole thing? And honey, yeah. I'll start with you.
Yeah, I would. As someone who likes physical books, I probably will just get the physical book anyway. But for shits and giggles, I feel like it would be funny listening to Moxley doing an audiobook. And not for nothing, him thinking it's pretentious is very on brand for him. Okay, because only Moxley could think reading his own book is somehow too much attention. but the fact that Moxley thinks recording his own audiobook feels pretentious is probably why one of the reasons why fans connect with him in the first place. But yeah, I'd be intrigued. I'd buy it.
Hope, you want to add any thoughts?
Honestly, this doesn't surprise me because if you really know Mox, at least you know what we're told, what we've read about him and things of that nature, he prefers to live his life. It took him the longest to get anything on social. He was very resistant. If it wasn't for management, he wouldn't have the social media, impact following, what have you, that he has now. And it's one of the things that actually draws the fans to him. And it's his craziness, his sincerity. And Renee even will echo that to a degree. So I wasn't surprised by that at all. Would I get the book? Probably, because I'm a Carrie Bradshaw girl in that effect. I love the heart. I love the smell of the book.
Me too. Oh my god! I was just thinking of that scene was just in my head.
But yeah, that's typical Mox. I mean, when I first read that, I laughed out loud. I was like, "Oh God, Mox, come on!" But so him.
Victoria.
So I am actually a big audio book girly, mostly because I used to drive an hour one way to work every day. So like when you're in a car that much, like they become kind of like your thing. You have to do something a little bit more interesting. I'd be curious to see him read it. Some people do a great job doing their own audio, but there have been a few that they should have hired a professional. But I think he's a great promo, so I feel like he will probably do a great job at this. Yeah. But yeah, I'd be curious, it might be worth a listen. I got a couple of long car rides coming up to go to pageants, so maybe that will be my first pick.
There you go.
There you go right there. I'm really happy for Jon, and it's funny because I'm going back to our debate on the Shield because we were going through mainstream between Seth and Roman and Jon. Jon doesn't do that much with interviews. He really doesn't. When you really think about it, you don't see him do a lot of mainstream appearances. When he talks about stuff like this, it's like, I kind of want to read it and listen to it from his end and very curious. And if you saw like some of the photos that Renee posted on social, it was them two and their daughter. I just thought it was really funny because he just had the same facial expression. I'm like, this guy, and I think the one photo Renee posted of them together, he was smiling. He very rarely ever breaks.
That's a rare occasion, even for Moxley. Like that man does not smile at all.
He doesn't. And even for Father's Day, when they posted, he just kept that serious face. He kept that face.
He broods. I don't know who broods worse, him or Jon Snow. Like who has a more brooding face? Like that's tough. That's a good competition for a brooding face. Like who? Maybe not so much mean because Jon Snow's not mean, but I mean obviously Moxley might have the win on that. But in a brooding, just staring down competition, like blank face, who's winning that? I have no idea.
Well, that'll be interesting to say. But I wouldn't mind listening to Jon, especially what he says. I mean, he's the ace of AEW. Like he bleeds. He's been doing this for quite some time, and just seeing him at his peak, it's very nice to see. But who knows? Maybe in the future, when it officially comes out, I would like to listen to it. But I also like a real life book to read. Mm-hmm. Audio not so much, but I like a book to read.
Can you imagine him though at a book signing?
So weird. So weird.
I'm just like, how would that go?
Like that would probably be my first question to him. If I go up to him and get his book, I'm like, so how out of place do you feel right now?
it would just be like he's not used to that stuff.
He's because when you look at Jon Moxley, you don't think Barnes and Noble,
No.
don't know if Renee
Even-
would have to counter for him or how that would work, but like, wow.
even if he goes to a local independent bookstore, it's like Jon Moxley in a bookstore.
All of a sudden you hear, Bad Reputation being played loud as hell in the bookstore.
Oh my god.
Just, the total opposite of a library, but okay.
It would be. That would be interesting. And if he's there, I have to imagine Renee has to be right beside him.
Yeah. The only way that
Gonna
could
stick
work.
beside him. She gonna stick beside him.
she's gonna stay, and she'll probably be professional. But yeah, and since we're kind of on Jon Moxley, because I feel like it's been a theme today, because he's facing off against Shane Taylor tonight, doing an autobiography, but an AEW star had some praise when it comes to Jon Moxley, and that's why he's the ace of AEW. Miss Skye Blue, she had an interview with Renee earlier today, which I highly recommend you check out Renee's series, because she's interviewed almost everybody from the roster, from Private Party to obviously Jon Moxley, the conglomeration. Please listen to that, because some of the interviews are really good. And Edge and Christian. Skye Blue discusses picking the brain of not only Jon Moxley, but several other AEW roster members. For young talent in AEW, there are several roster members and backstage workers in the company with an impressive amount of experience in the pro wrestling industry. And for Skye Blue, she notes how it feels to be able to turn to the more experienced members on the roster while speaking to Close Up with Renee Paquette in a new interview. Skye Blue spoke about being able to pick Jon Moxley's brain about things and how she is terrified to tell him they met before. She goes on to say, I haven't told him that I met him, and I'm terrified to do that. I was very intimidated just because I don't want to seem like a mark. I don't want to seem like a fan, but when he helped all the girls for Blood and Guts, it was the most that I got to pick his brain and ask. After that, it's been easier to ask and pick his brain about stuff, which is mind-blowing to me. I could pick all these people's brains, like Madison Rayne, Dustin Rhodes, people I grew up watching, like Toni Storm. I would watch her matches in math class when I didn't feel like paying attention. And then pretty much she kind of goes in a lot to say. And also during the interview, Skye Blue spoke about the advice she received from Adam Copeland, or we know as Edge, following her ankle injury in 2024. And you could check out on YouTube. But I just wanted to get you guys as ladies quick thoughts, because I know the last couple of years, and I think before I came on, there was a lot of concern with AEW not using their veterans, but we have seen this because, as I mentioned, Mox is the ace of AEW. And just wanted to get you ladies on how some of the young stars like Skye Blue, Kyle Fletcher, and many other people that are young and hungry getting advice from some of the veterans, not just like Mox, Kenny, Chris Jericho, and many others. So Hope, I'll start with you on your quick thoughts there.
It warmed my heart, in all honesty, because you're thinking about a gentle Mox, a kind Mox, to take the time to do that. It doesn't even match the persona, but it is refreshing, because unfortunately in wrestling and in other professions, there are people who are more senior who won't help or give back. A combination of things, fear of someone taking their spot, or having the belief, well, I did it, you have to do it. You have to earn, what have you. It's so with that, I'm happy. And I'm not surprised by Edge, that Adam Cole. I know that's his real name, but he's Edge. He'll always be Edge.
Right. You're right. Mm-hmm.
Don't get me started on these names again, because that's a whole other show. But yeah, I'm pleased, and I'm not surprised, especially in AEW. It seems more family oriented, like they would be more helpful. Not to say that they aren't in the other organizations, but AEW definitely seems more family oriented, more supportive, more we've got you.
Honey?
I love hearing about wrestling mentorship. I think younger talent learning from veterans is probably one of my favorite, most underrated wrestling stories. It's one of those moments where when you hear about these stories, you're like, damn, I wish I could have been a fly on the wall for that. But and of course, to pick on Moxley's brain of all people. I mean, the guy's wrestled all over the world in different styles. There's nothing you can't learn from him. So and access to experienced talent also helps in their development as well. So it just, it gives them food for thought, and they get to embrace the advice that they get and take that and interpret it to make it their own. And that's how the wheel keeps turning, because Skye Blue, years from now, we're going to be hearing about how somebody, how she helped somebody and how they looked up to her, and we're watching her matches in their math class, and it's just a beautiful circle of life.
Victoria?
Yeah. I love it. I think that is how great wrestlers are made, right? Is that learning from those who came before, getting information from them. So hearing that is really wonderful. Like, I think there's been talk before. Actually, I think Billy Gunn talked a lot about feeling very frustrated that the younger talent in AEW weren't open to his feedback. And again, people I would pick, Dustin and Billy Gunn are on the top of my list of people I would pick their brains of if I was ever in wrestling, because I just think both of them, Billy athletically was insane, and then you got Dustin, who freaking created the most insane character, was given the weirdest directive and got that thing over like no one's business but Goldust, right? So I think looking at those people who have done those things, right? Moxley going all over the world. What's it like to wrestle in Japan versus here? What's the style like? I think that's just a key part of keeping this growing and keeping better and better talent coming out at the end. So I love it. I think it's important.
I would add MVP to that list too,
Yes.
because one who's been all over, he's been around for decades, and now he's a manager. He recently resigned. He's not going anywhere. I mean, he's just building his brand, just incredible. So just piggybacking off of what you said, Victoria.
And shout out to our mayor in the chat. He just doesn't want to give up my day. But anyways, he just can't. Anyways, and also another person I want to add in, Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho has wrestled everywhere, from Japan to Mexico to Canada. You cannot deny that. And like you said, so many veterans, but it's also with me, Chris Jericho. And I remember when Chris Jericho talked about many times where people underestimated him because of his size, and how people still say that was one of his biggest favorite wrestlers to this day. And it warms my heart to see that. And even not just with Chris, but also with Moxley as well, because Mox has traveled all over the world. So it really does warm my heart to see some of the younger talent really go to them. I know Anthony Bowens and Max Caster, when they were the Acclaim, they did talk about Billy Gunn teaching them and giving them constructive criticism feedback, because I think Anthony talked about it, and I think Max talked about it in an episode with Chris Van Vliet, literally. But it was just but it's something that I would love to see. I always say Chris Jericho. Also, definitely Kenny's another person, because Kenny wrestled all over the world, and he's so well known. Even though he didn't sign in WWE, he's definitely well known. And also, I would have not known of Kenny if it was for Chris Jericho.
And
so
Jericho, his generosity. Whenever there's a wrestler in need, or the family of a wrestler that's in need, he is almost always the first one to donate, and donate generously.
Yes.
Incredible. And just an incredible dude.
And also, and I can't believe Seth's going to fall to the floor, but another person that does it? Mercedes Moné.
She does.
You can say whatever you want about Mercedes, but
honey.
I'm sorry. I was melting. I melted.
Mercedes. I mean, look, I know everybody says things about Mercedes, but when you hear some of the stuff backstage on women, and also some of the things that she's done, I mean, you can't deny that. You can't deny her wrestling wise, because she does put on matches. And even when she traveled over the world, she wrestled in Japan. She also wrestled in Mexico. She wrestled in Canada for a bit. So you cannot deny Mercedes. And also,
I won't let the wicked Queen Bee come out. I won't let her come out. No. I'm keeping her at bay.
I am trying to. I'm not. I mean, you can't do.
We like
Yes.
to see
I said,
people.
We
Don't
like,
you start.
we have nothing against her wrestling wise. We know she's one of the best wrestlers. No one's denying her wrestling.
But let's
skills.
keep it real. How many of them are great wrestlers and have crappy personalities? There are some
That is
who really
true.
don't like the fans. And I'm like, look, y'all make too much money. You embrace. Now, obviously, there are limits. There are things within reason. But yeah, come on. There are some, because it's interesting. I've met a number of them. I know everyone on this panel have met a number of them, and it's interesting, past and present. The good guys, at least for me, I have found to be less than honorable, and the bad guys are some of the ones you could have a beer with.
Oh yeah, totally.
It's like, how does that happen?
Oh, yeah.
But then I like the bad guys, so there you go.
And then there's just some genuinely nice people in there.
For
you know?
sure.
Yeah.
Like they're
They
just
are.
like completely wholesome.
Yes,
Like you feel like you're talking to a friend, you know?
They are.
That's a
wholesome.
good
And I will
word.
say this, even though it is wholesome, and I will say this, even though I call MJF the biggest jerk in America, I have heard good things about him when he's not in character.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I've
Catching
heard
him
some
out of character. But I saw
It's just and,
no. Go ahead.
no, and it's just this because I always jokingly, because I said this to TK last time. I said if I ever met Alicia, I want to know, what did you see in that guy, like, you know, character wise, like, because we're keeping it kayfabe. I'll be like, what did you see in that guy or something? But you know, you know, and even said it too, and even said it a couple weeks ago when he was at Comic-Con in California when he met Tessa Blanchard. She was very nice in person to him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
She
See.
Look at
Well, we
girls.
were talking about the Hardys earlier, and like one of the things, my husband, again, not a wrestling fan, when we were at WrestleCon for Philly, when it was in Philly for 40, the fact that like we were just walking through for me to like show him the lay of the land of like where people were, and they were still like, Jeff was still doing art and signing autographs, and my husband was even like, he's like, this shut down like an hour ago. Why are they like still here? And then like to still take a photo with me. My husband was just like, I know nothing about these two, but like I think they are now salt of the earth, because he's like, I can't believe that they would stay that long. And like, and I'm like, their line was out like around the building.
It is. I mean, if you go to any meet and greet that has a Hardee's, the line is out the door. But just seeing the way that they treat families and children is so awesome. I was very happy I got to meet John Alva over the weekend because he co-produces Matt Hardy's podcast. But even him, he had to help out with the lines. But they are just so humble. Two guys from Cameron, North Carolina, and just living out the dream. And they're brothers. At the end of the day, they're brothers. And I always love it when they bring their kids. I know Matt, he brings out the kids. I'm not sure about Jeff, but I know Matt, sometimes he'll bring out the kids. And it's always fun to watch when some of them want to see the children.
For sure. Love the Hardys.
Yes, it is. I mean, but you know what else that we love? It is the Women's Wrestling Archive. We get to celebrate the past, the present, and the future of women's wrestling.
Women's wrestling didn't just show up yesterday in glitter boots. We've been here the entire time, body slamming through history.
The Women's Wrestling Archive launches 2026, and it's going to pave the way for all women's wrestling.
Because if we don't document it, a man might think he did it first.
This has been a passion project for a very long time. Head over to the womenswrestlingarchive.com to donate $1, $5, or whatever you can. It all goes a long way.
Let's give these women the spotlight that they've always deserved.
Her story belongs in history. Help us preserve it today. Join us at womenswrestlingarchive.com. Support the archive. Support women's wrestling. Donate today.
Support everything for the Women's Wrestling Archive. $1, $2, $3, $20. Any support helps out.
$20, $50, $100.
$100.
Yes, any support helps on the Women's Wrestling Archive. And since we're talking about women, we do have a few news. Stardom has been appearing a lot lately, the last couple days. Orange Crush's Produce announced a multi-show deal with Stardom. We did talk about this a couple weeks ago where MLW and Stardom are in agreement of a strategic partnership, but Orange Crush's Produce has reached an agreement to work with Stardom talent over several upcoming events. The group announced a multi-show deal where Stardom talent will be used on its July 26th Montreal and August 3rd event in New York City. Not many details have been produced, but this is definitely something of an ongoing production. And also, Produce recently announced a pay-per-view distribution deal through My AEW, beginning with a debut card on June 29th, and each show will feature a current independent wrestler producing the show and incorporating their influences, with Jonathan Gresham assigned to the first show. But ladies, I just want to get your reaction to this because we have seen Stardom doing these partnerships within the last couple of weeks, and I'm happy to see it's now starting to enter in U.S. soil. But Hope, I'll start with you, and what are your thoughts on this?
Y'all know me. Anything that improves wrestling in general, that pleases the fans, that brings more eyes to the wrestling game, I'm all about it. So kudos to them.
Honey?
Yeah, like she's like Hope said, more opportunities and more visibility for women's wrestling in particular as well. It's Stardom just continues to expand, and that's really great because we know that if there's one thing we've learned, especially with cross promotional opportunities create fresh matches and fresh matchups, new rivalries, new everything new, and I'm always all about that. So it just feels like the wrestling world is getting smaller and smaller, but in a good way, smaller than ever, because it's like it's becoming a tight-knit community, even though there are different divisions of the promotions and subdivisions and whatnot. But either way, we benefit, so we win.
Victoria?
No, I totally agree with that sentiment about the idea of like the cross promotion, and like I think it doesn't make it smaller in my mind, but what it does is it gives us so many more match potentials and so much more ability for wrestlers to have really great matches with different people, expose people to different things. And I just think it's good overall. I think it's one of the things we're seeing is that to make wrestling survive or thrive in this era, this is one of the best ways to do it, to ensure that the people buying your tickets keep buying your tickets because they get to see cool, new, different things every time they come to a show.
Yeah, I'm very proud to see Stardom making waves, especially a women's promotion that's from Japan. I know there's been issues on trying to get US distribution between them and New Japan, but I'm happy to see Stardom is really getting those opportunities. We get to see a lot more ladies. Obviously, of course, some of them are competing in the Owen Hart Cup Women's Tournament, appearing on AEW television or mainstream television for the first time, which is very huge. And I'm very happy to see, not just with this, but also, as I mentioned, they have a strategic partnership with MLW that's supposed to launch, because we're going to see some ladies this weekend in Philadelphia at the 2300 Arena. So Stardom is killing it. I'm happy to see them get a lot more exposure. And it just makes me happy to see women's wrestling now thriving. A lot of bumps in the road, a lot of hurdles, but they're continuing to thrive.
Mm-hmm. That's what it matters. As long as there's progression with women's wrestling, that's all we care about.
Exactly. And also, speaking of women's wrestling, because we're going to do a little bit of TNA preview, because TNA has been, well, after the whole fiasco that happened on Monday, they do have some action happening. The Elegance brand will be defending their TNA Knockouts titles against Allie, formerly known as the Bunny, because she was on AEW, and Mara and Rosemary. And Mara Sade will be in the corner. And, I know most of us were not there on Monday because there was a lot of releases that happened last Friday. Maya Grace, Monday, Steve Macklin. And I just wanted to get you ladies quick thoughts on this, because it seems like there's a lot of shift happening internally in TNA. And Honey, I'll start with you on your thoughts lately.
Multi-person matches are helpful. They can advance several stories at once, and there's a lot of different stories going on with all these women. Rosemary stands out to me because, you know, she's obviously one of the most unique characters in wrestling. But TNA's knockouts division continues pretty much to be one of the strongest assets of TNA, personally, for me. And it's just another chance for newer talent to gain their exposure. But let's go, Mara Sade.
Yeah, let's go. Hope.
When it comes to TNA, because there's so much going on there, it always concerns me. I root for the brand, I root for the talent, but I do get a little concerned when there are too many things going on at the same time, creative wise, because people can get lost. I think part of the issue for me is who is the target audience? Is it the casual fan? Is it the hardcore fan? Or is it just someone who's just breezing by? And it's also a way where talent can get lost, which leads to unnecessary cuts. So with that being said, for me, I will stay tuned.
Victoria, you have any thoughts? And I know you have to hop off. If you need to hop off, just let me know.
Yeah. So I feel like the only division there that seems to be like kind of strong is the women's division. There seems to be like everywhere else a lot of fluctuation. But with that, and this is like no surprise, I'm not a huge fan of multi-person matches like this. Actually, the ones I really hate are tournament matches. Like Queen of the Ring and King of the Ring right now are driving me up the wall because I'm just like, there's just constant. But I think they could like go in a lot of directions and hopefully do advance some storylines in this if they do it right. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing kind of what happens. And there's like, we'll have new stories starting out of it, or hints of new stories. That's kind of when done well. That's why I like about a multi-man match. Like, give me that little moment that you might not pay off for another month, but you like plant the seed I'm looking for. And that's, I think, when creative really knows what they're doing, what they can be. But sometimes they just seem like a blow. Let's get them all in the ring and
you kind of
throw each other around.
You kind of hit the nail on the head regarding TNA, because I feel like we've been talking about this for the last couple months. TK and I were talking about this because, of course, there is some internal issues, because I feel like Hope you kind of said, because since they've been at AMC, they have to figure out what demographic, especially for AMC. And also, I don't know if people, I'm pretty sure people are aware of it, AMC, but I don't know if they have it at home because everybody's on streaming and everything else. They don't have cable. So that's another thing to see. And also, I know they're trying to get new viewers, but some of the celebrities they got, I just scratch my head and be like, hey, you could have got a little bit. I don't know who's in your PR team or anything else, but I could have got you better people that could represent the brand, especially if they don't have conflict with either WWE or AEW. There are better, let me rephrase this, solid celebrities that you could choose from, because even when you debuted, I just had a little bit of a head scratcher, because it's like,
I had a lot of head scratchers. Okay.
I did. I had a lot of head scratchers. It's like, I want to sit in that internal room and just not even listen, but just sit and see what's happening in the entire room, like the process and everything else. And it's just like, okay. I want TNA to thrive still, but I know, and I said this.
It's foolishness. Let's keep it real. Who approved it?
Yes. I'm like, who approves this? And also, I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago. Knockouts are in rebuild. The entire division, tag team is in rebuild. Mr. Boniqua from the Bronx, Mike Santana, his contract is getting ready to expire soon. So I'm hoping he resigns. So hopefully we can see him on TNA being the champ. But I want TNA to thrive because that was the second wrestling brand I watched. That was the second one. So
the Octagon ring. I loved it. It made it stand out, but yeah, it's a far cry from the Carter Jarrett days.
Yes, so much is happening, and you get to watch it on Dark Side of the Ring because Dark Side of the Ring is happening soon, and they're doing a 2 or 3 part episode about TNA. So,
all right, friends, I'm popping off. I'll see you back on Friday.
All right, Vicky.
Good to see you.
All right, bye. Thanks, Victoria. Bye, Victoria.
Bye.
And I wish she could have stayed for our final story because this is about Miss Cathy Kelley. If you watched her interview yesterday on Chris Van Vliet, she revealed that she was recently diagnosed with autism. She spoke with Chris about the diagnosis, how she reframed, how she understands herself, particularly in social settings. She goes on to say, I was recently diagnosed with autism, and I recognize that changes a lot of the social dynamics that I have. And adding that when she describes herself as introverted, I feel like it's a little bit more than a typical person would be. But she mentioned that she's pretty introverted and pretty low-key nowadays. Said she places a high value on self-work and learning about herself with a long-standing interest in psychology that she shapes on how she watches everything from reality television to her own segments. She credits Kevin Owens as a particularly important source of support, naming him as one of her closest friends in WWE. Kelly goes on to say, Kevin Owens has been super supportive, especially since the diagnosis, since he knows so much about it because of his son. She describes him as very grounded and a good person to go to for advice because he'll direct about it and give you a really good answer. YouTube channel. And ladies, I just want to get your quick thoughts on this because this has been buzzing the last 24 hours, and Cathy Kelley mentioned this on social. And honey, I will start with you.
I mean, well, this is a very important story, and it matters because there's 2 words that come to mind: representation and understanding. It's important for people to tell their own story in their own way, and Cathy sharing her experience can also help the next person. Learning more about yourself, especially as an adult, can provide a lot of clarity and context. And a lot of adults do receive diagnoses later in life. So, but it takes courage to be vulnerable publicly, and all power to her, because, you know, granted, she's not a superstar, like a on talent superstar. She does the commentary and the interviews and stuff like that. And we love her all the same, but we have to remember that, you know, this is just another layer of the pieces of, you know, the global machine behind WWE, how so many people are involved. And she's one of those pioneers from in the back in the interviews and doing all of that stuff. So sharing her experience even helps one person better understand themselves, then that's so important, and it's extremely meaningful, and it can create such a good impact. But it doesn't define her, and it's just another piece of understanding her experience. So love to Cathy Kelley. Mwah.
Absolutely. I find it interesting that when some people get these types of diagnoses later in life, it's like, where was the disconnect earlier on?
Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, I'm glad that she came out. I hope that she came out because she wanted to share it versus feeling like she had to before social got a hold of it and blew it up and maybe took it out of context, because that's a deeply personal thing and shouldn't necessarily be shared unless she wants to. So I'm hopeful that she wanted to and that she's embracing it, which she appears to be doing. And I certainly wish her nothing but the best. I'm not surprised that Kevin Owens is supportive. Though I've never had the pleasure of meeting him, I've heard nothing but good things about him behind the scenes, support wise, everyone from talent to those breaking down the ring and everything else. Just an overall good guy, great lady, and she will be fine.
Yes, I think she will be. I was very happy she got to do it with Chris Van Vliet because she does seem more trust in him, and also with the fact doing interviews. And like you said, Hope, it did blow up like 24 hours. And I was just like, well, there was other parts in the interview that were very interesting. She talked about her friendship with Rhea Ripley and everything else, but also just remembering representation matters and also making sure that, you know, autism doesn't define her. She has done the work. We know the clockwork with WWE, like she's a backstage interviewer, she's a commentator, and also really thinking about it in her head. And it doesn't surprise me that she sees herself as an introvert because, you know, there are some things that, you know, your brain processes, and also thinking of, okay, going from A to B to C and figure out, okay, where is my spot that I have to do interviews, and where's the next who's the next superstar I have to interview, what questions do I have to ask? So those are some of the little things that people tend to forget about. And also, she is human, and I'm happy she gets to share her story, especially as I mentioned on a platform like Chris, and really just trusting him, embracing it, and just really living the best life. And I'm very happy for Cathy, and I hope she does continue sharing her story, and also make sure to catch Chris Van Vliet, his interview with her. And tomorrow he will have Heidenreich on his podcast tomorrow. I think it's his first podcast appearance in quite some time. So I'm very happy he's doing it with Chris.
Okay.
Nice.
But that wraps up WWT. But is there anything else that I missed, or as Cody Rhodes say, you want to talk about?
Can't think of anything. I heard Aaliyah Mysterio's been training.
Oh, nice! Yes,
that I heard. I heard she's been at the I've heard she's been seen at the Performance Center training. So I like that.
Amazing.
They need somebody to go at Live for Dirty Dom. You know, why not little sis come and get it?
I mean, if it can't be dad, then it might as well be the sister.
I mean, it could be dad, you know, but dad's running AAA and with the Undertaker and stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff, though. Good stuff. I don't know if we're going to see a Dirty Dom, no. But you know, these upcoming matches, this tournament opponent,
Monday for him to come out after Obafemi.
That part,
I was like, you have some cojones, my friend. You have some cojones, my friend. All right.
And the way Oba described it, saying no notes. Just
right.
No notes.
Just keep it going. Just keep it going.
But yeah, that wraps up WWT Live for Wednesday's edition, because we got to get ready for AEW Dynamite because we have Summer Blockbuster happening. But Hope, where can the people find you?
On the socials, Miss Hope 0621.
Honey, where can the people find you?
You can find me at nixin5.com. And all things wrestling with Honey, Twitter, Twitch, everywhere. Yeah, I added Twitter and Twitch to my repertoire now, guys.
I noticed that. She has Twitter, folks. But the people, I mean, they can find me top of the hour because we got Timeless Elite Wednesdays, Summer Blockbuster Edition, because we're going to the movies for Dynamite. We have the Owen Hart Cup men and women's tournament happening. We got a few matches. I mean, Shane Taylor, he's going to challenge Mox. I can't wait to see that. And seeing everybody from Shane Taylor promotion. Well, not everybody in Shane Taylor, but I'm happy to see Shane Taylor on TV. But the people can find me chirping periodically on WWT Live as much as I can. You can follow me on my socials at CourtneyNJ11 on Twitter and Instagram, because I still have content for Battle for the Brave over the weekend. Shout out to Deonna and Steve Macklin for putting on an amazing show. I have been putting content up from the red carpet. Happy to interview Emily J. and Kaya McKenna, two ladies from the independent scene that are killing it. I was so happy to interview Ian Riccaboni on the red carpet as well. That was one of my favorites. But also, I do have more content happening and sharing it. It was a really good event, and I'm so glad I happy to go. Also, make sure I also have content from 80s Wrestling Con. I got a post. Make sure to check out the interview with Bronwyn Billington, the daughter of the Dynamite Kid, and also Francine, because Honey interviewed Francine and I interviewed Bronwyn. So please make sure to do that. Shout out to the rest of our team, because we're on the ground this summer and we have a lot of stuff happening. This weekend, I will be at MLW for Philadelphia. And also, Boss Lady and Seth will be handling Pound Town Wrestling. But thank you to everybody from Boza to Dylan to Aaron Teagle to Eric. Thank you all for joining us and supporting Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet. And make sure to check out the rest of the team in Pound Town Wrestling.
That's about to pound the streets.
This is a no DQ match.
You know who you're talking to?
But as I'm looking around, I don't see anyone more beautiful than me.
Last Downtown was supposed to be my debut win.
What are you doing in my office, girl? The locker room is over there.
Ooh, Pound Town Wrestling, Pound Town.
Pound Town Wrestling. I really wanted to congratulate this entire crew. Family, friends, loved ones, hard work. I commend all of you. Pound Town Wrestling. Here it is.
Thanks for joining WWT. Don't forget to like us on all social media platforms at WW Talk Pod. Like and subscribe on all video and audio platforms, like yesterday, my G. And check out our website at www.talkpod.com. Thanks for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.